Pantone is proud to be a company still manufacturing in the United States. The thing that we are really strong and really good at is color management and color development and the development and selecting the right color. So we spend a lot of time and effort maintaining color throughout the process. Even during the printing and bindery process and production of these graphics guides, the color will probably be looked at an average of 20 to 30 times. In the creation of our fashion and home books, it may be 40 to 50 times. All that requires very, very good focus, talented employees, lots of training and experience, and is something that would be very, very difficult to outsource or to do in a commercial environment. So we've kept all of our manufacturing here, all of our quality control is here, all of our planning. It also keeps us very much in touch with our customers, with our product design, and having everything in one location really is what makes Pantone special. Our ink technicians, very, very highly trained, skilled. We also look at them as somewhat of artists because this is kind of a blend of science and art. So what Joe's going to do for us here is show how we take the medium, the trans-white medium, we take the specially formulated pigment bases that are part of the Pantone matching system and blend them together to give us a perfectly matched Pantone color. When you're measuring color and maintaining color standards to the level that we do in the Pantone systems, this actually gives us the highest accuracy and the most reproducibility of color. One drop, more or less than what you're looking for, has a tremendous impact on the final color that you get on the press. We're going to take the batch that he's mixing and we're going to compare that to what we call a wet standard. It's literally ink that we've previously matched and approved and used in a prior production run. We're going to draw those two things down side by side and we're going to compare the colors. If you can see differences between the two, that's not a good thing. We want to almost see that it's just one homogeneous color across the stripe, both on the white and the black area as well. When we start bringing in instrumentation, the reason for color measurement instruments is that our eyes are our perception of color is very subjective. And what I see is very difficult to communicate to you. So we use instrumentation because it kind of serves as the color referee, okay? It gives us an actual number, a quantifiable color difference from a target that we want to achieve and maintain versus what we've produced, okay? That's called a delta or change in E, which is basically for color. So we will measure the printed output and compare it back to a master measurement, if you will, of the original run, and it will give us a quantifiable number of how different that is. So one of the great things about delta E and using instruments for color measurement is that it is kind of a color referee or an objective measurement of color. One of the slightly negative things about it is that instruments don't see color as well as the human eye. So sometimes we can have good delta E numbers, something we're happy with, but visually it may have moved in the wrong direction. Delta E is a circle around the target. So sometimes we can have good numbers, but it's unpleasing to the eye. So therefore in our process, we require both a digital approval for numbers and an approval by visual assessment. This is our color standards laboratory, which is a very key part of the fashion home system. What we're doing in this laboratory is they're almost the color police, ensuring that each time we produce a new color, we always come here for approval whether it is suitable to go to the next process. When we're evaluating color, we try to take any surrounding colors out of the equation completely. So the walls that you see here being painted gray, the inside of the light booths being gray, again, even the white lab coat that we ask our technicians to wear. The idea is to remove any of the perception of the surrounding colors away from what we're trying to evaluate. Everything is compared back to a digital reading or color instrumentation reading because that is a fixed point in time that can never change. We use instrumentation. In order to use instrumentation properly, we need to condition the samples that are going to be evaluated. The temperature and humidity has a tremendous effect on the colorants that are used in both the graphics products as well as the fashion home products. We actually find that the color will change significantly based on that. We come back to our lab to take variables out of the equation, things like water, the fabric that we're currently using, the batch of dye stuffs, even the processes and the people that are being used now as opposed to the last time that we produced that color. We use pieces of equipment like this to make sure that the amounts of dye stuff is controlled very closely. This is a almost completely automated machine that not only makes the solutions of the dye stuff, but dispenses them directly into the dyeing machines and controls the process so that we can get a predictive result of what that formula will be. In dyeing, which is different from other operations, it takes 6 to 8 hours before you actually get an understanding of what the color is. And if you're doing it correctly with cotton and the dye stuffs we use, you have to wait at least 24 hours to let them naturally regain the moisture that you dry out by drying the fabric. So rather than doing a nice draw down like we saw in the print, here we actually have to wait 24 hours to know if the formula we chose for the color is even the right color. The machines that you see to my left here are called jet dyeing machines. The way that these machines work is both the fabric and the bath or the water are being moved constantly. Okay, they're going around in a circle. We use these two tanks to inject both the colorants and various chemicals into the process, friendly chemicals like soaps and things like that. And also we use things to adjust the pH. So the dyeing process is all about time and temperature. And then using chemistry, we form a permanent bond between the dye stuff and the fiber. After the dyeing process is finished, we've completed our soaping and rinsing. We're going to take the fabric and put it here into our extractor. We're trying to remove as much of the water as possible that's been absorbed during the process so that we can use less energy in our final drying. So they're going to take the fabric that's just removed from the extractor, they're going to sew it to the previous lot that's already in the machine as you see, and they're going to run it through this drying frame very, very slowly, about 1 to 2 yards a minute. It's just forced hot air being circulated in and around the fabric. And that forced hot air drives out any of the moisture that's left behind from the process. Finally, at the end of this machine, we're going to cut a full width strip of fabric from the beginning, a window from the middle, and then another full width strip from the end of the roll. All three of those will be used in our color evaluation to determine whether or not this roll meets the Pantone standard.